Hello, I am Mike Finicum from Oklahoma State University, and I'll be demoing how to run the RSS software. Begin by opening the Arduino IDE, uploading the code, and to Tools and making sure the correct port is selected. Once you open the serial monitor, you should be greeted with this message, and do what the message says, and plug in the RSS, and hit enter. It'll begin by moving and hitting the minimum limit switch, which it just did. It'll move away, come back, and verify that it is indeed accurate. And in this case, it's off by 0.004 of a millimeter. The load cell has been zeroed, and we can begin by putting positive or negative integers into its adjust position function. And if you enter positive, the diameter will grow, and negative integers for the diameter to shrink. And once you are done with these fine adjustments, you hit 0 to end. You do that, it instructs you to load the material. So you lay down the RSS like this, and you can stand it back up and clamp it to the table if you so desire. Once you've done that, you may enter Y to readjust the position in case you need to get rid of any slack in the material. It will then ask you what the initial diameter is. I'm going to say 60. You may input functions starting now. Here's a quick lookup table from the RSS operating manual. The first function is initial position, which is what we just did. It sets the current position to whatever diameter you insert. In this case, we said 60. The first and probably most important function is go to position. Now I'm going to type in the text box, go to position, and you can just hit enter and it'll prompt you for input. But if you know what you're doing, you can also hit space, and then I'm going to say 100 millimeters sounds good, so 100 space again, millimeters. It's going to ask me if I want to record since I'm not currently recording, and I am going to say yes to that. It's going to begin moving to 100 millimeters and recording data along the way. There's a few other go-to functions or movement functions that you can do. You can say go to min, go to max, go to initial, which are all self-explanatory, and the last one, adjust position, is one of the functions we did at the very start, where you enter positive or negative integers. You may also say position at any point to get a reading of what the current position is. While it is moving while stationary, you can also say set speed, and I'm going to say 1.5 millimeters per second, all with spaces between the function name, the value, and the units, just like go to position. And if you want a user prompt instead, you could always just say set speed and no input after, and you can see it successfully set the speed to 1.5 millimeters per second. If you enter something too high, it will just set to the maximum instead. You may also say speed at any time to get a printout with the speed. You can set the sample rate to anything you want. Default is 1 Hz. You can print off the sample rate, so I'll prove to you that it is indeed currently 1 Hz. You can tail the weight, which zeroes the load cell. You can return recording on, or return recording off, so I'll stop the recording for right now. The last functions are verify, which has already happened. This was the second function that was run, where it goes back to the minimum and instructs or tells the user how far off it thinks it is. The last functions are load, that displays the current load. Time displays time since the program started. Pause stops any movement until the user hits enter. Stop stops all movement and permanently ends it. And the very last function is exit, which just closes off out the software and forces you to relaunch if you want to begin again. So let's see. It's about to hit the minimum, it just did, and now we're a little bit more off than what we started at, a tenth of a millimeter, however. Thank you for listening.